Hey, it's Tracy. Today I am sharing an inspired by Pinterest project. I saw this adorable canvas over on Pinterest and it inspired me to create a canvas art with you. Now this is made out of egg cartons, but I just decided to use them with fabric roses that I like to create. So let me show you what I did. Here are the supplies that I'm going to use. I have an 11 by 14 blank canvas, and then I'm going to paint it this color, Americana Desert Turquoise. I did some fabric flowers or fabric rosettes, and I have a tutorial on those that I created using muslin fabric, but this is just printed fabric, so I just used the same technique. I'm also using some green chenille stems, and then I think I'm going to use this rickrack for the bow. Okay, using the Desert Turquoise paint, I am just going to paint the canvas. I did paint it 3 different times, letting it dry in between to get the desired coat and coverage that I wanted. I'm going to be using some white paint, and I'm going to shade around the edges of the canvas. And so how I do that is I have an angle brush, and I'm going to load half of the brush with white paint, and then I will dip the other half in water, and I will get a paper towel, and I will just take the brush and go back and forth several times so that it blends it. And then I'll go ahead and paint all of that around the edges of the canvas. And this is what I like to do to add some color, some softness, just some blending of just different colors around my projects. Alright, I like to put a gloss varnish on my canvas. You can leave it plain if you want, or you can use a matte finish. I like to use the Gloss Sealer by Ceramicoat. It is the Delta brand, and I just like to use this on my finished projects because it just really finishes the whole thing for me. So I'm just going to be applying it to the front of the canvas with a paintbrush. Okay, now we're going to put on the flowers. These are just fabric rosettes that I made out of strips of fabric. And so first, before I glue them down, I want to position them the way that I want them to go. So I'm starting with a yellow center, and so then I'm just going to try to proportion it the best way that I can. And so then I'll move things around. Okay, once I like the placement, then I will start, well, first let me put my stems. I don't need the whole thing. I only need about, I don't know, I guess 3/4. For projects like this, I like to use these little clear rubber bands. I got these at the Dollar Tree in the hair accessories section. And they're just clear little rubber bands, little loom bands or little hair bands. And so just to kind of hold them in place until I can position them and put the ribbon on it. They just work great. Oops. Just move that down. You don't have to do this. This is just something that I like to do so that they stay together like that. And then I'll just put the ribbon right there. Okay, I'm going to use this large rickrack that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to make a bow in the center. Okay, so then I want to cut off this little frizzy part. Make sure that they're even. What I like to do is cut one side and then bring the other side to it so that I can get them even. And because of the material of this rickrack, it's going to fray just like that part that I cut off. So a way to prevent that is to singe the edges with just a lighter. Okay, so what it does is it seals the edges so that your ribbon doesn't fray. If you don't have a lighter or don't want to use a lighter, you can also use a little bit of Mod Podge on the edge and it will seal those edges also. This part right here would be a great way to secure this down. Just going to use some hot glue. Okay, once you get your stems down, the roses are going to, the flowers are going to cover this right here. So I don't think that you'll need a whole bunch of other adhesive to glue this down. So we're just gonna position it back the way that I had it. I'm just turning it over and just kind of pushing it down. There's nothing on the front that I feel is going to mash to the point of like being flat, and I like the flatness of the fabric rosettes anyway, so looks like I need one more flower there, so I'm going to make one. Okay, so I added a little green flower there, and as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I had pulled out my extra little flowers, and I had some of these, well, I had a couple of this size burlap flower, and so I was just kind of, you know, looking to see what I liked, and I was like, oh, I like that. So it was just a little bit different, little burlap flowers. These are fabric and then these are burlap. And so I just made a couple of more, or actually a few more, and just put them sporadically around. And I think the white of the burlap pulls out the other colors, and it just kind of gives a different texture. And so these I did a little bit different than what I did with my fabric rosettes, so I wanted to show you how I did that. It's just a little strip of burlap, and so I just folded it in half, and I'm just going to do one triangle like that and then just roll it over on itself, and I'm just going to roll it. Put just a dab of hot glue so that it catches it, so that I can continue to roll it. And I'm just rolling it until it makes the size of the flower that I want. And I'm okay with the little frayed edges. I think that it adds to the project. Just a little tiny dot of glue. Just keep rolling. And that's probably big enough because I don't want it to be too big or a lot bigger than the other ones. And then I'll just secure it here on the edge. Get my little Mod Podge hot glue silicone fingers. These work great. So I don't burn my fingers. And there we go. So then I'm just going to put that one right there. There we have it. Okay, I was a little undecided if I wanted to put buttons in the center of the flowers. So if you're gonna redo this project, you can definitely, you know, figure out what you want it to do. This is how I store my buttons, in these little glass jars that I got from the Dollar Tree a long time ago, but I think you could still get them. Anyway, so I'm just going to, I guess, put little button centers in the middle of each flower. Alright, what I'm going to do is use this art glitter glue to glue my buttons down instead of hot glue, because hot glue sometimes, even though it comes up the middle, it's fine, but sometimes it doesn't look very pretty. So this art glitter glue works really good for this type of stuff. And there you have my bouquet of fabric flowers that I created on a canvas. I don't know, this was a little different for me, so I stepped out of my box a little bit and went with my inspiration, and so I like it. I like the way that it turned out, and I can put some ribbon on it if I want to hang it up. I'm not quite sure. I might put it on like a plate holder and put it on a shelf, or put it on, you know, my table, my little table that I have that I decorate, and I don't know. I like it. So we'll see. We'll see once all this dries. So anyway, thanks for watching. I love sharing ideas, sharing tips, and inspiring you with a bit of country charm. That's what my channel is all about. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for your comments and your support. And we will see you soon. And God bless.